and was like, yo, I really loved your energy and I would love for you to come and audition for me. So I never got the show through an agency or a manager. It was all just like, like Melanie said, right time. Just, it was at the right place, the right time. I went and auditioned for it. And that's when I got the part and we started filming. And probably by early 2018, BET was kind of sniffing around and was like, this doesn't need to be a movie. This needs to be a television series.
Because it was a
And,
book too. It was a
yeah,
book.
so it's
A
based
lot of
on
people don't know
Carl
that.
Weber's. So Carl Weber, who's an amazing best-selling book author, he has Urban Books Media, and he's had so much success in his books. But The Family Business is one of his biggest book series, and I think that's why we could talk about that later. But I think that's why the show has lasted so long because there's so much material. He has like at least 7, 8 books. So it's like
Mhm.
so many
Wow.
opportunities for the storylines with such a big ensemble cast to keep going for as long as people love it. And so here we are, almost 4 years later, and season 3 just dropped 2 months ago, and here we are. So it's been a
And
crazy ride.
yeah, tell us about your character. You played Rio Duncan.
Hmm.
So tell us about your character. I know a little bit about him, but I want you to set it up
Hmm.
and tell the people
Yeah.
Rio Duncan and all about your character and how he fits into the show.
Yeah, so I would say the family business is like a black mafia meets dynasty Sopranos type of family. It's a big black excellence, powerful black family, which is so cool to see on television. Seeing a
Hmm.
rich black family who's, got their stuff together, but at the same time, they be selling drugs on the low. They have another cartel type of business with this Latin family. And so Rio is the youngest of the Duncan clan, I like to say, of the siblings, me and my twin Paris. And Rio he's the gay son. He's the flamboyant. He's the comic relief. He's the stylish. You always gonna see him wear different color hair, different outfits, but still like very much a part of the family. Like he may feel like a black sheep in his mind, but at the same time he rides for his family just as hard. He's still with the shit. At the end of the day, he's still gonna pick up a gun if he needs to. He's gonna. I love that I've been able to bring something different to this character where it's showing a different side to people, especially on a black show that, like people of LGBT can be more than one thing. They can have masculine and feminine qualities. They can have um, a different edge to them. And as the seasons have gone on, we've seen his character develop a little bit more. But yeah, Rio's fun to play. He's gonna always show some sass in every
I
scene.
like that name. I like that name, Rio.
Real, right?
Well, if you think about
Yeah.
it, all of his siblings are named after cities. So we have a brother named Vegas, Orlando. My sister's name is
Oh,
Paris. My older sister, who plays by Tammy Roman, is London.
Love
My
Tammy. I
mom,
was
my
gonna bring her
mom's
up.
name is Chippy, but Chippy is short for Charlotte. So Carl had a very interesting way of making the characters'
got
names
it.
based on cities. And my nephew's name is Nevada. It's a lot. So it's fun.
That's awesome.
Again, you mentioned a lot of actors. There's a lot of great people in this.
Oh
My
my
girl Tammy,
gosh.
who I love, but Ernie, Hudson, Valerie Pettiford, like so many greats that you're working with. And as you said, a
Yeah.
big ensemble. One of our circle friends asked, have you ever met a celebrity or in this case a peer, let's say family
Hmm.
business that gave you a starstruck moment, like where you were like, oh shit, this is happening. I'm working with them. Like,
um, well, if I'm gonna say from the show, it was definitely Valerie Pettiford. I feel like she's played everybody's TV's mom from like Half and Half, and she played Mariah Carey's mom in Glitter. Like me and my mom used to love
I
that
love that
movie.
movie.
I know a lot of people snub that movie,
Justice
but
for
I love.
Glitter.
Can we have justice for glitter? Hashtag justice for glitter. Shout outs to Mariah Carey. I remember when I first was in the hair and makeup and she was sitting right there and the director was like, hey, Valerie, this is going to be Arrington. He's playing your son, And so I usually don't get starstruck too much, but just seeing the quality and she's, Tony nominated actress. She was just the most sweetest and humble and kind. So is Ernie, two legends in their own right. And to have her play my mom, that was like a full circle moment for me. And yeah, just I mean, from Michael Jai White to Lisa Ray to Clifton Powell. I mean, and every season we're getting more and more. I mean, we just had Sheila E. Prince's drummer on
Protege.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like every season it's like more and more celebrities and iconic people want to be a part of this project. So especially for this being my first project, I just soak up everything, and I'm just like I'm literally working with people I've watched growing up. So I can't be any more grateful.
Nice. What's the best advice you've gotten from one of your fellow co-stars?
Um,
Whether it's
I would
like,
just say that
life acting.
yeah, I would definitely say to stay kind,
Mm.
stay um stay easy to work with. You know, like you can be the best actor in the world, but if you're like, excuse my French, if you're like a bitch or you're like
Mm-hmm.
a douchebag, you won't have a longevity in your career. You know, they've always said you bring this light and this energy. I don't want to say that because I just wore the shirt, but I mean,
Preach.
they
No
were
pun
like,
intended.
no pun intended, but don't lose that part of you because that's what sets you apart and that's what makes you different. And that's what's going to keep you working for a long time because people just know that you're a good person and a good human being on top of being, professional. So definitely professionalism as well as, you know, just having a good personality and not letting Hollywood change you, which I don't feel like it has for me. I mean, I don't know about
I
friends because
I
I,
highly doubt it.
I listen. I'm the same person that was in Maryland to here, so the East Coast is still in there.
You still, but you have the Baltimore accent. Even when you say Baltimore,
Really? Oh
yes,
man, it depends on who I'm around. Because sometimes when I'm with friends, the DC will come out because I grew up
yeah,
right in the middle, so it's like I kind of have both. But
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Now you said before theater and being in front of the camera, um, are two different things. Which one would you say you prefer? It would be your preference if you could be in theater
Um,
or in front of the camera.
I prefer to be in front of the camera. I've always loved just like the emotion that it brings,
Mm.
the authenticity that it brings, and just the realism of it. Of course, I love being on stage, but I think that's why ultimately through college I was like, you know what? I think film is more my route because I get more out of it, and that's that's why I like that versus Broadway and theater. But theater's always gonna have a special place in my heart. But yeah,
Nice.
film
So
for sure.
tell us, I have to know because I was geeked
Hmm.
out. I'm like, oh my! Out of all the actors and stuff, great actors and actresses there, I kind of like geeked out with Tammy Roman. I love her from like the back in the day in the real world. Now she's doing
Hmm.
real world homecoming. She's done Basketball Wives, which
Basketball
I
Wives.
followed. Like, and I love her transition. From basically reality star to into she's doing her damn thing, landing gig after gig.
She is
Like
booked and
how
busy.
yes she is.
Booked and
How
busy.
how was it working with Tammy Roman? Like I love. Oh, she's half Puerto Rican too because we were talking about
Yeah,
earlier on the
yeah,
show. Yeah, she's half Puerto
yeah.
Rican.
Wow, I didn't even know that. Honestly, I just learned something new. Well, see, I was always a fan of Tammy from Basketball Wives because I just always thought she was real. She gonna tell it like it
Love it.
is. She
Love
was
it.
just down to earth. Some people may have said other things, but I always enjoyed her. And when I first met her, I felt the same energy. She's always kept it real. She always keeps it 100. She is my big sister on the show, but she's definitely been that outside of the show as well. And just to
That's
see
awesome.
her transition, I mean, she said her age publicly, but it's still like, for her at her age to where I feel like she's finally coming into her own and
Mm-hmm.
her stride. Reality TV is one thing, but people don't know she's been acting for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
If you look back, she did an episode on the Parkers. She's done stuff here and there, and I think that's where her heart truly lied was in doing film and television. And she kills it, man. I mean, she's on like three different shows: the Miss Pat show. She was on Saints and Sinners. She's on my show. So it just goes to show that at any age, if you have a desire and a passion for it, and you want to be taken seriously, show the people that this is what you want to do. Because I know for her, it was probably tough to leave a world where people knew of her already as
Mm-hmm.
Tammy Roman to be
Yeah.
taken seriously in the acting world. But she, like I said, she studies her craft. She knows what she does and she shows up. And she's real. Like,
She is.
I'll never forget. Well, I think it was first season when like Fashion Nova was really kind of coming around too, and I remember she hooked the brother up. She was like, "Listen, I know some people," and she didn't have to do that to me. I was a new actor coming in, and
Aw,
she
that's
she
sweet.
she's so sweet, so sweet. I was like, not surprised, but at the same time, it does always surprise you when you see somebody that you've looked at on TV, and you're like, "Ooh, I wonder if they're gonna be different in person." But she was as real as they come. Love
I
her.
love to see people that are older like move in the direction of their careers. There's
Hmm.
this famous host and fashion stylist, Bevy Smith. She
Yes.
always
Hmm.
says, I love her and I have her book thanks to you, Charlie. She said in one of her chapters, it gets greater later. It gets better with age. And like a lot
Yeah.
of people,
Yeah.
there's a lot of ageism out there, especially in Hollywood.
Hmm.
But
So much in Hollywood.
there is always room for any age. There's always like a